What began as a charming birthday party quickly became something that nobody could have predicted. To make her daughter's day ideal, Teyana Taylor had meticulously arranged every detail, with its fairy tale decor, vibrant balloons, and a gigantic cake that seemed to belong in a dream. The location had a mystical appearance. Her daughter was wearing the prettiest clothing, beaming with happiness, laughing, and being surrounded by friends. Teyana was also radiant. You could sense her pride and happiness as she shared small moments on social media with words like, "Mom, life is everything." However, you will not believe what transpired next. As the celebration continued, attendees were having a good time, chatting, taking photos, and watching the children play. However, Teyana began to behave somewhat differently. She repeatedly moved away from the throng, continued to check her phone, and her grin seemed to have faded. People became aware. A few murmured to one another, unsure if something was amiss. It was not immediately apparent. She continued to play with the children, greet guests, and laugh. However, an odd tension pervaded the atmosphere. I can assure you that nobody could have predicted what was about to occur. That moment came just as everyone was gathered around the cake, getting ready to sing the birthday song. Everyone's attention was drawn to the door as the music and conversation ceased. Just now, Iman Shampert entered. No warning, no invitation. He was not meant to be present. On a bright day, he stormed in and scanned the room before settling on Teyana. This is when things start to get interesting. In an instant, the smile vanished from her face. Her entire body went cold. Suddenly, the once jolly room felt silent and chilly. The guests exchanged uneasy and perplexed glances. You could practically hear what they were thinking. Why is he in this place? Iman took solid steps toward Teyana. Unsure of what to do, people stepped away. Even the security personnel appeared uncertain, poised to take action, yet reserving it. He only remarked, "We need to talk," when he got to her. This is the startling part, though. Teyana did not mince words. Her voice was piercing and passionate. Not right now, not here. It only required that. Her voice broke with agony. The silence in the room was broken by just one brief conversation between them. The phones appeared at once. Knowing that something significant was happening in front of them, the guests began to record. Teyana made an effort to remain composed, but it was short-lived. Raising her voice, she commanded Iman to go. She sobbed, "This is her birthday. This day cannot be ruined by you." She picked up her daughter and left the room with tears in her eyes. Without knowing what to say or do, everyone simply stood there. Others started murmuring. Some even started live streaming what was left of the party, while others sought to console one another. The music did not return. The children appeared perplexed. Adults stood in corners, discussing what they had just witnessed in whispers. What is the most absurd aspect? Everyone had something to say, but nobody truly knew the whole tale. Social media erupted in a matter of minutes, with users posting reactions, selecting sides, and uploading clips. Trending hashtags included "Your Birthday Meltdown," Iman Stormson, and Teyana Broken. Everybody told the story differently. Teyana was defended by some as defending her daughter's special day. Iman's intentions were questioned by others. Did he want to make amends? Was something put up? A move of power? Or another thing? Everything in the arena changed when Teyana left with her daughter in her arms. The enchantment had vanished. What should have been a happy celebration had instead become a room filled with awkward silence, murmurs, and confusion. Visitors were not sure if they should stay or go. They put on grins and gave hugs in an attempt to keep the kids' celebration continuing, but the enthusiasm was gone. The atmosphere was heavy, as though everyone was still taking in what they had just seen. This was no little dispute. This was a real-life, intense family drama, and that is how the internet exploded. Videos from the incident went viral on TikTok and Instagram. The footage of Iman's entry was uploaded by many who paused, watched, and responded to it. Theories and opinions sprouted in Twitter threads. Teyana had been holding it together for too long, according to some, therefore she had every right to react the way she did. Others believed that Iman might have been merely trying to support his daughter and not intending any harm. Here's the startling bit though. In an attempt to piece together what might have been happening behind the scenes, fans began accessing old photos, interviews, and even song lyrics. Individuals were creating their own timelines by tying together unconfirmed details. Meanwhile, tidbits of information from within sources started to circulate, further complicating matters. According to someone familiar with the matter, Iman had been feeling excluded, as though he were being excluded from his daughter's life. They said that his abrupt appearance was motivated by desperation rather than merely theater. They said he had no alternative means of getting through. However, a completely different picture was later presented by another source. They asserted that Iman's actions were motivated by control and that he arrived to make a point rather than to make amends. This is when things start to get interesting. People began to question if this was all prearranged. This narrative is unique because even for strangers viewing it from the comfort of their own screens, it was intensely emotional and intimate. People sobbed as they watched Teyana leave. The video of Iman standing quietly and scanning his surroundings as though unsure whether to follow or go was played again by others. Although there was no physical contact or loud shouting, the space and quiet between them spoke louder than words could. When others even brought up the fact that Teyana's voice cracked, not out of rage but out of pain, emotional specialists entered the discussion. This was about years of hurt finally coming to light, according to a well-known therapist who shared a video. Fans began examining Teyana's most recent posts as additional responses came in. Her captions had changed over the past few weeks, moving from happy mom life to more somber, contemplative sayings. Peace can occasionally arise when you give up trying to be understood, according to one post. Fans started to view the message differently after the party incident. Was she at her breaking point already? Was this the point at which fate changed course? When someone posted a video of Teyana speaking to a buddy at the party who had not even asked permission to attend, much more turmoil broke out. The entire scenario took on a new dimension with that single sentence. It was a betrayal, not only a surprise. Fans started openly picking teams. Both Team Iman and Team Teyana had ardent supporters and were now legitimate internet communities. Some people claimed that trying to preserve your child's happiness while the past crashes in is every co-parent's worst fear. Some suggested that Iman could have handled it incorrectly, but his heart was in the right place. Every second of what had started out as a private family occasion was now being watched closely by the public. Timelines were overrun with reaction videos of people sobbing, yelling, and even acting out the incident in their own words. There was no doubt that this was more than just a gathering. This was about two people suffering in the spotlight, pain, and history. And believe me when I say that things become much more intense from here. Speculation began to circulate behind the scenes. According to some, Iman had been attempting to reach Teyana for weeks without receiving a response. Others said he was devastated to be left out of the party after learning about it on social media. Even yet, a lot of admirers wondered why they should show up without being invited, especially since they knew it might not go well. Some even accused him of creating a public scene in an attempt to dominate the story or win sympathy. All of a sudden, everyone was talking about this story. What is the most absurd aspect? No one truly knew the truth, but everyone believed they did. According to people close to Teyana, she had been organizing this party for weeks. She wanted the day to be flawless, down to the last details, including personalized decor, not only for her daughter, but perhaps also to show herself that she was capable of handling anything and that she could remain joyous, strong, and present despite everything. According to one pal, all of that fell apart when Iman unexpectedly turned there. Then, as the commotion was starting to subside, an unforeseen event occurred. A brand new video appeared, capturing a different perspective of the very moment Iman entered the party. It was taken from the back corner of the room. What individuals saw will astound you. The first videos did not reveal what this new clip did. Iman paused at the entrance, appearing uncertain, almost apprehensive. He did not charge like most people believed. For a few seconds, he glanced about as though he was waiting for someone to stop him, or perhaps to grant him permission to enter. Fans were now split once more. It changed everything, according to some. It was too little, too late, according to others. Here's the twist though. A silent conversation between two visitors who were standing close by was also captured in the video. Did not he say he messaged her? One whispered. Yes, but she blocked him weeks ago, the other person said. The internet was rocked by that one sentence. Now, others questioned whether he was truly isolated and unable to interact. Did he believe this was the only way he could express his concern? Or was that really an excuse on his part? The mystery only becomes more complex. At first glance, it appeared to be a messy interruption, but it was handled incorrectly and now appeared to be a difficult attempt to reconnect. Nevertheless, Teyana remained silent. No updates or posts. However, some close to her began to imply that she was getting ready for something. A statement, a podcast appearance, or perhaps even a confessional documentary. Nobody was certain. Fans became even more protective of her as a result of her quiet, which felt loud. They asserted that she had every right to defend her daughter, her privacy, and her quiet, and that she owed no one an explanation. However, some wanted closure for their daughter, who had grown to be the focal point of this heartwarming tale, as well as for themselves. Not to mention the child in all of this. The birthday of that young girl, which should have been a joyful occasion, became entangled in controversy and public controversy. What will she recall of this day? Viewers wondered. Will there be cake and balloons, or just quiet and tears? People were deeply affected by this subject since, at the heart of all the rumors and viewpoints, was a young child who had not requested any of this. She was the one stuck in the middle, regardless of who was correct or incorrect. The fact that this tale goes beyond celebrity rumors is what sets it apart. It is true, genuine feelings, actual errors, true heartache, and it resonated with a lot of viewers. People started talking about their own experiences with co-parenting difficulties, unexpected confrontations, and ruined birthdays. The responses were filled with understanding, empathy, and suffering. "I have been Teyana before," some asserted. "I get what Iman tried to do, but this was not it," others commented. The question that remains unanswered is whether they will ever be able to resolve this. That party was where destiny really took a surprising turn. A happy day descended into an emotional tempest, and there is even more to the story. More video may come to light. There is room for further statements. Teyana may choose to heal in privacy, or she may talk. Iman could make another better attempt, or he might retreat and reconsider everything. Whatever occurs, there is no denying that this moment affected everyone who witnessed it, not just them. What do you believe actually occurred that day then? Was a father attempting to get back in touch, or a man who went too far? Do you support Team Iman or Team Teyana? Or are you simply devastated for the young child who was entitled to better? Let us know in the comments. If you have ever had to hide your suffering in public to keep someone you care about safe, do not forget to like and subscribe, because this is not the end of the narrative.